A lot of podcasters live episode to episode, dreaming of getting ahead, so they aren't always rushing to get an episode produced and published. For many, that's an achievable dream. The trick is staying there. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Broadly speaking, there are two types of podcasters. Those who are working on the next episode they need to produce, and those working on the next episode they need to publish. Those two are not the same. Many, perhaps most podcasters are the latter. The episode currently in development is set as the next one to be developed. Well, that's the next episode they're going to release. Now, serial podcasters, those who are doing fiction, documentary, educational, etc., they're much less likely to be in that spot. But for episodic podcasters, we're very likely in a position where what we are or what we will be working on next is also what our audience is going to hear next. And many of us, would like very much not to be in that situation. Because life for the others looks so great to us. We see or read about or possibly hear other podcasters who have the next 5 to 6 episodes already produced and even scheduled to publish. We imagine those podcasters as being so far ahead that the pressure to get a show produced right now is very much lessened or even non-existent. But produce ahead isn't the goal for every single podcaster. In fact, it's not possible for every single podcaster. Podcasts that report the news, for example, like The Download from Sounds Profitable, Pod News, or Tech Meme Ride Home, those shows can't be produced in advance. All three of those shows are news roundups, which means that the news has to be rounded up right up until the requisite time to get an episode produced and scheduled. For shows like those and many others, producing early means potentially missing content that they should have been covering and their audience would have expected them to cover. Now, the same goes for shows that follow the release cycle of other properties, like, companion podcasts to other media properties like television shows and, believe it or not, even other podcasts. Or podcasts that cover trending topics. Or podcasts that just don't want to sound too dated. See, living in one world isn't really better than living in another. And the realities of the type of show you are producing may require a particular production and release style. But for a lot of shows, like this show, well, we both get to choose our production and our publishing schedule. And for those of us who've chosen to mirror the production and release schedule, the idea of not doing that is really, really enticing. We see these ostensibly smarter podcasters than we producing and working on episodes that will not publish for weeks or months ahead, and we say, man, I wish I could get ahead like that. Now, if that's you, I have some bad news for you. There's no such thing as getting ahead. Let me clarify what I mean by not being able to get ahead. And I'll do so, as I am wont to do, with a clunky metaphor. Now look, I'm no gym rat, but more than a few years ago, I was in the best shape of my life. I was working out twice a day, 5 days a week. Now, look, I wasn't going to make anybody swoon if I took off my shirt, but I was markedly less Pillsbury Doughboy-like. For about 3 months. Because then I slowed down on the workouts. And eventually I stopped them altogether. And my body reverted back to its own baseline, surprising exactly no one. Because that's how life works. To stay there, I would have had to keep working out. I wasn't getting ahead of my metabolism. I found a new level of fitness that required a new level of commitment. And sitting back and relaxing clearly wasn't going to, and certainly didn't keep me there. Surprise, I'm back to being me. The same is for your podcast. You can't really get ahead with your episode production schedule either. Putting in the work to get ahead with your episodes is possible, sure. So you maybe even have 3 to 4 of those things in the can. But if you don't keep working ahead, you'll fall right back down. If you let your production date slide or a production date slide, that will eat into your progress. If you get distracted or you explore other projects because you're ahead, you're going to start sliding backwards. When I came back from my long winter's nap in January of this year, I was a full month ahead. While you were listening to my episodes in early January, I was already working on episodes that wouldn't publish until February. Great. But by early February, my aheadness, well, I was only ahead by a couple of weeks. And by the time you hear this episode in early March, I'm only ahead by 5 days. There's no getting ahead. What I should have done, not that I'm a big fan of using the word should have, but roll with me for a moment, I should have kept going. I should have made every day a production day, just like I had previously done for all those years. But I didn't do that, and my lead gradually slipped. Now, there are many reasons why I didn't do it. I'm launching new projects, exploring new podcast ideas, and also, to be honest, opting to not crank out an episode when the deadline wasn't staring me in the face. There's no getting ahead. There's only adjusting your calendar and developing a production schedule that keeps the separation between production and publishing. That's not working ahead. That's staying on schedule. But with anything, your mileage may vary. My mileage has certainly changed, for sure. With that, I shall be back directly with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers!